Today's July 27th, and today's quote is entitled, "What are we seeing?" Are we really seeing reality, or are we seeing our idea of what is real? This is so hard to understand because we all see the world the way we see it, and the way we see it seems real, and so we don't realize that everything we see is not the way Krishna sees it or the way Prabhupada sees it. And it's not even the way our next door neighbor sees it necessarily, or our husband or wife. We were talking, we just gave a class on guilt the other day, and we were making the point that don't believe everything you feel, because we're so connected to our emotions that whatever we feel becomes our reality. So we think, if I feel it, it must be real. Isn't it? If I feel angry, it must be something wrong. If I feel happy, everything must be good. Not necessarily. If I feel angry, I feel justified because somebody did something wrong, and that's the reality. So my feelings dictate reality, and it's not always like that. So we should, obviously we understand that the reality is Krishna's words, Prabhupada's words, but we don't always think that way in the moment. So it's nice at least to be aware that everything I think and everything I feel and everything I see is not always correct, and everything I'm arguing for is not always necessarily exactly true, even though I have analyzed and perceived it that way. And so it's always good to leave a little room for other points of view. I know sometimes I've told devotees certain things, and they might say, I can't accept it because it doesn't fit within their view, even though I've explained that this is what Prabhupada said. So that's, kind of a dangerous position to be in Krishna consciousness. So I can't accept this even though Prabhupada said it, because we're saying, when we say I don't agree, we're saying I don't see it that way. Well, that's okay. As a conditioned soul, we don't see everything the way Prabhupada sees it, but that's just the way it is. We're conditioned souls. So I just was on the plane yesterday, and I was listening to a morning walk, and Srila Prabhupada was talking about human beings as animals. And basically he was saying that everyone's an animal. And it was a little difficult to accept. I mean, it wasn't difficult for me to accept, but I could hear some devotees listening to this and thinking, this is really heavy. This is really, and I could hear, just listening to what Prabhupada was saying, I could see that everything Prabhupada was saying, he was seeing. He was just telling us what he's seeing, because we don't see it exactly that way. And that's the value of hearing from a pure devotee. When we heard from Prabhupada, and he would speak the philosophy, we all realized that he was seeing what he was speaking. When he said, I'm not the body, he had full realization. And it had so much effect on us. It was so purifying, because we felt it wasn't that Prabhupada was speaking from a book, he was speaking what he was seeing. So we have to understand that when the pure devotee speaks, it's not I don't know if that's true, I'm not sure I agree, let me think about it. No, he's seeing it. And we're not necessarily seeing it. And by Krishna's mercy, we're hearing someone who's seeing what we should be seeing. So we just should keep that aware, that we should keep that in mind, because as conditioned souls, we're subjectively conditioned, which means we see things through the filters of our past conditioning. And it's nice to be aware that everything I see, think, and feel may not always be true.